Fans at the sound message, please stand if you're able to and remove your hats. And let's welcome Rebring Kanye Bai as she performs "Oh Canada."
Oh Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Current weather conditions mainly sunny, 17 degrees. The air quality health index is at 4 or moderate. And the wind is from the northwest at 42, gusting to 68 kilometers an hour. Comprehensive school, and I've given this young man the very important job of saying the two magic words to kick off this ball game. Let her rip, buddy!
Play ball!
Okay, first pitch 7:03, if that matters.
First inning is brought to you by Concrete Construction Group. For all your aggregate and ready-mix concrete needs in Southwest Saskatchewan, give them a call at 306-778-5610. Leading off for the Saskatoon Berries, the center fielder, number 20, Carter Beck.
I'm going to go down there and tear Eric a new one. Yeah, he should have done that. Ryder probably put him off to it. Yeah, Eric's on the mic tonight.
Now batting, the shortstop, number 11, Nathan Houston.
What's that? I hear that.
I'm here. Doing a little multitasking here at the ballpark tonight. Good to go now. So Carter Beck leading off. I've heard this guy's pretty good. 1-1 the count right now to Beck. Or no, Beck's already on first base. Almost turned to double play, the 57s did. The lead runner is removed from the equation. And the batter will reach on a fielder's choice. Packed house here at Mitchell Field tonight. Glad that you could join us wherever you may be tuning in from. It's Ryan Schweitzer bringing you the balls and strikes between the Swift Current 57s and the Saskatoon Berries. Two teams at opposite ends of the WCBL Eastern standings. The Berries have won their last 6. The 57s have lost their first 8. Something's got to give. As Ethan Murdoch, a former member of the Swift Current 57s, digs in, Rudy Estrella out of the dugout to have a chat with home plate umpire Tyler Murphy. Maybe debating a Chase Utley rule at second. I'm not sure what Rudy's beef is, but in any event, the 57's going with the orange jumpsuit look, and oh man, we're going to have us a conference call between the umpiring crew here. Tyler Murphy doing dish, Connor Joslin at third, the legendary Philip McGee umpiring first base. If Phil's on the crew, everything will be okay. Oh, it looks like they did call interference, and now Joe Carnahan's going to make his way out of the dugout. And he's going to say, but you called him safe. Ooh. Debate here with Joe Carnahan and Philip McGee, two mastodonic personalities in the WCBL, locking horns on the right side of your screen. A lot of minor ball teams making the trip to watch this one tonight, including a plethora of children from Saskatoon willing on the visiting Berries here tonight. And that pitch goes behind Ethan Murdoch. 2-0 count. Count to Murdoch, breaking ball. Called strike, nice slider there. 57 starting Riker Ratcliffe tonight, native of Lamar, Colorado. Right-handed pitcher, Ratcliffe, one appearance, went 5 innings against the Medicine Hat Mavericks in Medicine Hat, allowing only 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned. Struck out 2 and walked 4, has a 1.8 earned run average and a pretty filthy slider by the looks of it. Just missing up to Ethan Murdoch. 3-1 count here. He's pitching to Casey Prychek. And tries to paint the outside corner with that slider. Going righty on righty there.
Now batting the designated hitter number 24, Mason Royal.
Have we mentioned the wind might be a factor in this one? Strong winds blowing in from left field might be an equalizer as the Swift Current 57s. Coming into this game, they have a team batting average of 198. The Berries with a team average of 294. So the Berries have really been putting lumber to baseball early in this season, whereas the 57s really trying to find their offensive sea legs here in this landlocked province of Saskatchewan. But yeah, that wind may have been a great equalizer in this game. Swinging strike there induced by Ratcliffe. Be great if the wind would die down just a little bit here, but I don't know if we're going to be that lucky. I'm not saying it's windy, but I just stood in Swift Current and took a leak in Blumenort. Pitch is fouled off. Mason Roll out of West Bend, Wisconsin at the plate now. .455 batting average for Roll. Yeah, we talked about the Saskatoon Berries and all that offense that they bring. Riker Ratcliffe pitching to Casey Prychek. Gus Kane at first. Rydell Adair at second. Trig Mapes playing short. And Brody Alexander at third base. That breaking ball from Ratcliffe off the chain and ducking to get out of the way of it is Roll. Who sugared up these children in front of me? Holy cow. Fired right up. I think a full day of baseball would tire them out. Minor ball teams here tonight taking this one in, part of the opening ceremonies here at Mitchell Field. Outfield for the 57s is Silas Hilton, Jose Ayala, and Donovan Borg as Roll is caught looking, and that'll do it for the Saskatoon Berries. No runs, no hits, no 57 errors, and one left on base. Bottom of the first inning straight ahead with Swift on the sticks. Scoreless and Swifty here on Flow Sports. Matt Whitney getting the start on the mound for the Saskatoon Berries, the Florida product, getting set for his second appearance of this young season. He had one appearance on May 31st against the Regina Red Sox, going 6 2/3 innings, allowing 6 hits, 3 runs, none of them earned. Struck out 4 and walked 1, and as of right now has a spotless earned run average. 57s. Silas Hilton, Gus Kane, and Jose Ayala due up here in the bottom of the first inning on a windswept, finally Friday night. Or pardon me, Saturday. Silas Hilton swinging strike. He was thinking fastball, and Whitney dealing him a change. 0-1 the count here. Whitney's pitching to Balin Sorensen. Corey Waters at first base. Nomar Prieto at second. Nathan Houston out of Melville, Saskatchewan. Former member of the Moose Jaw Miller Express is playing short. Cooper Westland at third base. In the outfield, Jalen Freeman in left. Carter Beck in straightaway center. And Swift Current native Ethan Murdoch in right field. 1-1 the count. Lefty on righty matchup. Whitney down and away. Good take from Silas Hilton. 57's offense has struggled thus far. You hope that one of these games the floodgates will end up opening of the Swift Current 57 starters. Looking 1 through 9 as Silas Hilton puts lumber to baseball. And that's a fair ball and likely going for extra bases. Hilton gallops to second base and he'll pump the brakes. But a leadoff double for the native of New Mexico. I was just going to point out, of the 57 starting 9 in their batting order, only one guy, Luis Ayala, hitting above the Mendoza line as of right now, but Silas Hilton getting himself on base. Will that open the proverbial floodgates? Lefty on lefty matchup here as long, tall Texan Gus Kane digs in. Runner on at second, nobody out, 57s. Situational hitting has not been a good situation for the Swifty squad here. I'm not saying it's a windy day here, but in one of the outfield trees, I saw a squirrel wrapping tie-down straps around his nuts. 1-0 count to Kane. Whitney taking a good long look at Silas Hilton. Kane tries to get that bunt down. We haven't seen a lot of this from the 57s as of yet. The small ball attempts here, the smoke and mirrors, the hits and runs, getting the bunts down and such. '57's going with the all-orange look against the Berry Blues here. 1-1 pitch. In the dirt, good take from Kane. And 2-1 the count right now. Jose Ayala, who's got some pop in his bat, waiting on deck. Trying to give Riker Ratcliffe some run support here. 2-1 the count. Ayala. He's got a home run. Wilmer Enriquez, who's been a weapon for the 57s at the plate, not in the lineup again today, as Gus Kane catches Sorensen on the backswing there. Sorensen's okay. As soon as Kane did it, he looked at him right away and apologized. I know, talking with Saskatoon Berries coach Joe Carnahan, he's a big fan of his catcher, Balin Sorensen. Joe likes players with a tough approach to the game, and if he's a fan of Sorensen, then clearly that applies. Dying Quail shot, and that is caught at third base. Silas Hilton unable to advance. Good job by Cooper Westland out of Lincoln, Nebraska to negotiate the swift current curve, that wind, and make that catch. As Jose Ayala comes to the plate. 1 home run on the year for Jose, as we mentioned. 3 RBI in 8 games. Base hit could give the 57s a lead here. Scoreless in the bottom of the first. I don't know if we're going to have a high-scoring contest tonight with those winds gusting at times to 50 kilometers an hour. Which would probably be like around 30 miles per hour or so. Ground ball, up the middle, Jose Ayala. Might be bringing in a run here. Silas Hilton slides in and scores. Ayala heads for second base, and he's tagged out. But the 57s are on the board. An RBI from Jose Ayala scores Silas Hilton, and that's big for the 57s. Their hitting has been sporadic, and they haven't been able to string together consecutive hits to bring runs in, but they do now, as that double from Hilton put to good use. And Swift strikes first against Saskatoon. And now St. Clair, Michigan's Donovan Borg with the bases empty and 2 away. Swinging strike. I think he was thinking fastball, and out in front of a off-speed offering as Matt Whitney just pulled the string on that pitch to home plate to Balin Sorensen. And Donovan Borg buying what Whitney's selling here. 0-2 the count with 2 away. The 0-2. Fastball, just a bit outside. One and 2 the count. Line shot from Donovan Borg, and the 57s have their third hit of this first inning.
Now batting, sponsored by the Fraternal Order of Eagles, Swift Current, the catcher, number 15, Casey Prychak.
Casey Prychak trying to do some damage here against his hometown team, the Saskatoon product. Luis Ayala is on deck. Lefty on lefty matchup here. Sorensen trying to frame that pitch from Whitney up there, but Tyler Murphy, home plate umpire, doesn't bite. 1-0 count. Prychak, foul ball. Packed house here at Mitchell Field. Love to see it. Double-A minor ball tournament in Swift Current this weekend. And I believe every participant is here. Big night for the Swift Current 57s. Make a few bucks tonight. Big for the community-owned team. Get a better idea of that wind there. Just look at the wind blowing Houston's jersey there. Prychak hit that ball a mile. Had a good tailwind on that foul ball. The 1-2 pitch. Oh. And galloping in from third base to make the catch is Westland. But the 57s get themselves on the board in the bottom of the first inning. 1 run on 3 hits, no Barry errors. Donovan Borg left out there. Top of 2 coming up. 1-0. The 57s lead it here on Flow Sports.
1 run, 3 hits, no errors. The second inning is brought to you by Crop Paint Nutrition, leading technology in soil and crop health. Leading off for the Saskatoon Berries, the full-on-egg beer batter. The left fielder, number 1, Jalen Freeman. If he goes out at the plate, beer will be on sale for the rest of the inning, thanks to full-on-egg.
5, 6, 7 due up for Joe Carnahan's Saskatoon Berries. Jalen Freeman, Balin Sorensen, and Cooper Westland on the agenda here. Riker Ratcliffe, first pitch to Freeman, finds the strike zone. One count, or pardon me, 2-1 the count here. Freeman, ground ball. Gobbled up at second by Rydell Adair, 4-3. Freeman heads back to the dugout. Beer is on sale in Swift Current. The beer drinking masses are delighted by that exchange. And now catcher Balin Sorensen hitting .214 on the year. 1-0 the Swift Current 57s in front of the visiting Berries. That ball hit foul. Sorensen struck out by Ratcliffe. Lincoln, Nebraska's Cooper Westland making his way to the plate now. .318 average on the year. 2 down here, top of the second. On a windy Saturday night, Westland tries to get a bunt down, does so, and the 1-3 putout erases him from the equation. So the Saskatoon Berries 3 up, 3 down in the top of the second. Bottom of 2 coming up with the 57s up 1-0 here on Flow Sports. Luis Ayala leading off for the 57s here in the bottom of the second. Swift up 1-0. Luis Ayala, Brody Alexander, and Rydell Adair due up. These two teams will do it again tomorrow. 4 p.m., the Sunday start time for the Sunday games in Swift Current this year, so we'll have that one for you at 4. Swift up 1-0. Silas Hilton with a double in the first and was hammered home by Luis Ayala. Luis's twin brother, or Jose Ayala, was the one with the RBI. Luis is the guy at the plate right now. Oy, man. Game number 9 of the season for Swift. The play-by-play guy is not in mid-season form. Fouled off by Luis Ayala. 0-2 the count here, working against Matt Whitney. Whitney about to uncork pitch number 22 of his evening with nobody out here in the bottom of the second and an 0-2 count. Working against Ayala here. Ayala thought about it. Trapdoor just opening up on that pitch, and Sorensen blocking said pitch. That wind blowing straight home. Out of left field and straight home. Mother Nature a bit of an equalizer tonight against these two teams with varying offensive styles. Somebody get Matt Whitney's hat. That's going to end up in Blumenort here. Shot by Ayala. He's on base. That one buzzed the control tower of the pitcher Whitney up the middle. And now Brody Alexander. Runner on at first, nobody out here. Rudy Estrella, head coach of the 57s, has to be happy with this start. You're out hitting a team full of offensive weapons, 4-0, and leading them 1-0 here in the second. If you break a game into a beginning, middle, and end, the beginning thus far good for Swift. The 0-1. One and one the count now. Hopefully the wind dies down for the game tomorrow against these two teams. Well, being a homer broadcaster for Swift, maybe I should hope that it doesn't. Popped up by Alexander into the glove of Carter Beck, the center fielder and native of Cardiff, Saskatchewan. Thanks to Carter Beck and his tremendous ability and all the attention that he's gotten, I think a lot more people know about Cardiff, Saskatchewan than maybe did a year ago this time. Greasy Seagulls in the infield. Rydell Adair, number 8 hitter in the lineup. One down, runner on at first for him to work with. The 1-0. Oh. Umpire calling time. Time called mid-windup, and Matt Whitney's not happy about that. He's fired right up. And Balin Sorensen appealing on behalf of his pitcher as well to home plate umpire Tyler Murphy. I don't know if that was an umpire called time or if it was Rydell Adair. There was a sudden gust of wind. And Whitney, 3/4 of the way through his windup when time was called. Well, we're losing a few signs in the outfield. Need the industrial strength zip ties. 1-1 the count. Breaking ball, Adair. Swinging bunt. Oh, you better get going, Rydell. Adair out, but that swinging bunt really having the effect of a sac bunt as the runner advances to second base. Now 2 out. Not the worst scenario that could happen for Swift there, as there's a runner in scoring position with number 9 hitter Trig Mapes up to bat now. Native of Great Falls, Montana. Top of the order on deck, and Silas Hilton, who's 1 for 1 with a double. We'll see if we get to Silas here in the bottom of the second inning. 57s with a 1-0 lead. We got signs in the outfield, busting the zip ties. Wind gusts up to 50 kilometers an hour. I would say even more than that. Mapes, foul down the first base side. That was pitch number 31 from Matt Whitney. Working 1.2 innings thus far. Carter Beck, center fielder for the Saskatoon Berries. Coming into this game, he's got 9 at-bats now and 3 home runs. The offense for the Berries made the trip to Moose Jaw last night, 22-4, the final score there. And the electrifying Carter Beck with 3 home runs. Beck's batting average as of right now, he walked in his only at bat this game, so he's currently hitting at .625. he's good enough that, I don't know, when you're that good, and he's still young, mind you. But I imagine as soon as he's eligible for pro opportunities, they will come calling. Deuce is wild now. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Oh, no, Philip McGee said he did, so gospel. 57s are going to strand one. Top of the third coming up. Still a 1-0 Swift Current lead here on Flow Sports. Corey Waters leading off for the Saskatoon Berries here in the top of the third. Nomar Prieto on deck, and then it's the top of the order and Carter Beck. Waters has been impressive thus far. Everyone on the Berries offense, for that matter, has been impressive, as they've been winners of their last 6, first in the WCBL East, and putting up some serious runs. Waters with 2 tanks on the year, 7 RBI in 7 games. 12 hits in his first 32 at-bats. 1-2 the count, though. Riker Ratcliffe, ooh, heat inside. And Ratcliffe loses his cap. Sometimes, when the sun sets, that'll drop the wind velocity a little bit. Breaking ball. Waters gets a piece of it to stay alive. It's been a good-looking slider tonight from Riker Ratcliffe. Two. Waters hits that a mile up in the air, and that will be a foul ball, which will be redeemed for a nice, shiny Canadian dollar. Two, breaking ball. And through Brody Alexander at third base, and Waters will reach via the E5.
Now batting the second baseman, number 3, Nomar Prieto.
That'll bring Nomar Prieto. Prieto's first at bat of the season. Wild pitch, advancing Waters. Oof. You don't want to give a team that has the offensive punch like the Berries do, anything for free here. And we'll see if Corey Waters and the Berries can hold the 57s accountable for that E5 that now has a runner right on the 6 of pitcher Riker Ratcliffe. 1-1 the count now to Prieto. Carter Beck, who walked in his first at bat, is on deck. Fastball up and in. Our center field camera, again, really giving you an idea of how windy it is here. The way that camera's shaking. Ground ball hit to Brody Alexander. Into the glove, looks the runner, keeps Waters at second, and bangs out a 5-3.
Now batting the center fielder, number 20, Carter Beck.
And now the dangerous Carter Beck. Calling this young man a tough out would be an understatement. Curveball. Might see that curveball a lot more second time through the order.
Running at the ball and bring it back to the mark table to get a loading.
Nothing in one the count. Ratcliffe. It's a good pitch, righty against lefty. Fastball that just catches the outside part of the plate at about knee level for a called strike. Nothing in two the count. Yeah, Beck walked the last time that these two faced each other. The 0-2, breaking ball. And Beck battles by fouling that one off right over top of our broadcast location here at Mitchell Field in Swift Current. The 0-2. Beck. Shot up the middle. And they're sending Waters home. And yep. And Beck opportunistically hits second base. As that ball squirted away past the cutoff man. Good heads-up base running by Beck. RBI's home, Waters. And the Saskatoon Berries have squared this game up. 1-1 the score. Ratcliffe. Breaking ball in the dirt. 1-1 the count. How you doing, bud? Three and one count now. Nathan Houston out of Melville at the plate. First season with the Saskatoon Berries, a league veteran who has suited up for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Breaking ball. Nice slider from Ratcliffe, gets the benefit of the doubt. 3-2 the count. Ground ball, a dare, 4-3, and they get Houston. However, through that, Carter Beck was able to advance to third base. And that'll bring Swift Current resident, former Swift Current resident, Ethan Murdoch to the plate. Kid grew up here. Played a season for the 57s. Hit a different summer ball league last year and now a member of Joe Carnahan's Saskatoon Berries. It's kind of a cool story. Oh, that ball one-hops pride check off of his paraphernalia, and Carter Beck comes in to score. Berries go up 2-1 here. Ethan Murdoch and Berries coach Joe Carnahan have a long history with one another. Murdoch, once upon a time, was Joe's bat boy when he coached here in Swift. And then as Ethan progressed in his minor ball jersey, or journey, rather, in around age 15, started catching bullpens for Joe Carnahan in the 57s. Traveled with the team a little bit, helping out. Ended up playing a season for the 57s, not with Joe as the head coach, but then recruited by Carnahan and now a member of the Saskatoon Berries. I can tell you this, knowing Ethan since he was a youngster, he's got a very professional approach to everything he does, and he hammers that ball that's going to be extra bases, drilling it to left field. Silas Hilton trying to track it down, but it'll be a stand-up double for Murdoch. But yeah, very professional in everything that he does. Physical fitness, always on top of it. One of those guys that eats on schedule, always has a bag of beef jerky to get some extra protein. Very disciplined, physical fitness, and dedicated to the nutrition aspect of things as well. Does everything the right way. Has a professional approach and the skill set to match. And his Saskatoon Berries lead at 2-1 with 2 out. He's in scoring position now, and we'll see if Mason Rule can do something with him. Berries have put up a crooked number here in the third inning. It's 2-1. Fastball, letter high. Hitters count. Jalen Freeman on deck. Roll batting at a .417 pace heading into this at bat. Coming into this game, 5 hits and 11 at bats over 3 games, a home run and 5 runs batted in. Yeah, I thought that was ball 4.
Now batting, the full-line deer batter, the left fielder, number 1, Jalen Freeman.
Jalen Freeman digging in now. Some umpires in the crowd disagreeing with Tyler Murphy's assessment. Slow roller to Rydell Adair, 4-3 put out. And the Saskatoon Berries touch up the 57s a little bit. 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 57s error. And a couple runners left on base, but heading to the bottom of the third inning. Berries lead at 2-1 here on Flow Sports.
2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, 2 men left on. After 2.5 innings, it's 2-1 in favor of the Saskatoon Berries of the Swift Current 57.
Silas Hilton leading off for the 57s. Hilton has doubled and scored this evening. 1 for 1 with a double. And was subsequently brought home. We're just waiting for a few field signs that have come off their moorings to be removed in the outfield. We got Garth in the outfield. He's going as fast as he can. Oh, boy. All right. The wind wreaking havoc with the outfield advertising here. Brief delay, giving Silas Hilton a little bit of extra time to think about his approach here against Matt Whitney and the Saskatoon Berries. Whitney pitching to Balin Sorensen, Corey Waters at first, Nomar Prieto at second, Nathan Houston at short, Cooper Westland is at third base. Outfield is Jalen Freeman, Carter Beck, and Ethan Murdoch. 1-1 the count here, 2-1 the 57's trail. Swift getting on the board in the first inning. Silas Hilton doubling and then subsequently scoring. And a crooked number put up by the Saskatoon Berries in their half of the third inning. Hilton brought home by Jose Ayala, who we'll also see here in the bottom of the third inning. 2-1 count. Whitney, the lefty, winds and fires. And Silas Hilton chasing low and away for strike number 2. 2-2 count now. 57s and Saskatoon Berries, who will play each other again tomorrow. That'll be game number 5 of a 57 6-game homestand. Swift Current will then have Monday off. They'll be hosting Regina. Oh, swinging bunt type scenario there, and that ball just rolls foul. Good job by Westland to let that one roll out of bounds. As Hilton heads back to the batter's box. Just a packed house on hand here at Mitchell Field and Swift Current for this one tonight. Nice chubby 50-50. A robust amount of currency will be lovingly deposited into someone's bank account later. 3-2 pitch coming up here with that wind howling in from left field. And Hilton, good take. Matt Whitney on the mound. I don't know if he's mad at Tyler Murphy or upset with himself, but No poker face on this young man. He's ticked. Fiery approach from the lefty from Plantation, Florida. Gus Kane with nobody out and a runner on at first in this 2-1 ball game. Bottom of the third inning. Matt Whitney with no shortage of intensity, firing that pitch and inducing that strike one foul. Oh, nice curveball. 12-6 and strike two. Gus Kane hammers that ball, but it's right into the glove of Waters at first, and an unassisted double play by Waters. Catches the line drive, tags the runner. A loud out. That's tough. You hit a ball like that on the screws and you hope to be rewarded, but happens. Jose Ayala 1 for 1 with a run batted in. RBI single. Was trying to stretch it into a double and got thrown out, but Ayala half responsible for the 57's first run. Swinging strike on the off-speed pitch. The 0-2 with 2 out and none on. Foul ball by about 1.5 feet. 4 o'clock start tomorrow. These two teams locking horns again. The 0-2 outside. Elsewhere in the league, the Weyburn Beavers visiting Medicine Hat. 1-0, the Mavericks lead it at Athletic Park. Brooks is in Moose Jaw and lead the Miller Express 2-0. Okotoks Dogs leading the Energy City Cactus Rats 3-0. That game being played in Okotoks. However, Edmonton, the home team, as their facility is not yet finished being constructed. Waters has to fight with wind and sun, and he conquers the elements to make that catch right by the Saskatoon Berries dugout. And that'll do it for the Swift Current 57s in their half of the third inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no 57's personnel left on base. Top of 4 coming up. It's a 2-1 lead for the Saskatoon Berries here on Flow Sports. Saskatoon Berries leading off here in the 4th inning. Extra base hit for Balin Sorensen as he doubles to left center. You know, in a situation like that, when you're in such windy conditions, your outfield is playing in, and you're forcing the hitter to hit it over top of you, and that time around, Balin Sorensen just obliged. A well-hit ball that maybe on a day with different conditions would have been a bomb, but in any event, Balin Sorensen with a leadoff double as the catcher gets to stretch the legs a little bit. And that sets the table for Cooper Westland, third baseman, at the plate now. 0-1 the count here at Mitchell Field. Wow. Breaking ball. 1-1 the count. Corey Waters on deck. Waters got the Berries' first run of the game. Managed to hold Swift Current accountable. Waters getting on base via error and subsequently coming around to score. You got to be mistake-free against a team this darn good. Two and one is the count now. That wind every now and then just kicks up some dust, and oh man. Not ideal conditions, but likely nothing these athletes haven't seen before as Westland swings through that 2-1 fastball. The 2-2. Oh! Stray fastball into the shoulder of the young man. Ooh. Heads to first the hard way. So yeah, Corey Waters reached on errors last time up and subsequently scored. 2-1 the Berries lead at top of the 4th inning. We got a mini dust storm here. And Rudy Estrella, with a capable batsman like Waters at the plate and runners on at first and second, he wants to have a conference call with his pitcher and infield, do a little strategizing in how to handle this scenario. Swift Current scored first. Silas Hilton electrifying the crowd with a double, and then Jose Ayala knocked him in with an RBI single. Moni playing. Oof. One-0 count after that pitch from Ratcliffe off the plate by about 6 inches. Runners on at first and second. Ratcliffe pitching himself out of his cap. Yeah, weather-wise, and we've talked about this on our webcast, you never know what you're going to get in Southwest Saskatchewan in the month of June. Breaking ball, filthy, and strike one. But we've had Junes where we've had several games rained out. And as much as area farmers wouldn't mind such conditions, we have not had that this year. It's been a very, very windy June. There's a shot into right field. Donovan Borg has that one twist and turn in the wind. Oh, man. Runner tags up at second and advances to third, but, man, that baseball, that had more twists and turns and zigs and zags than a field sobriety test outside the old Big Eye Hotel in Swift Current back in the 90s. Borg, though, managing to negotiate with the elements and make an acrobatic catch. Runner at second tagged up, though, and scurried to third base. So one down now. Nomar Prieto at the plate after Waters allowed out to right field. Westland at first, Sorensen at third. Sorensen doubled, Westland wore one. So second at bat of the young season, Casey Prychek loses sight of that baseball, and by the time he's able to track it down, Westland was able to scamper to second base. So Nomar Prieto at the plate now. His second at bat. Grounded out to Brody Alexander his last time up. 2-0 pitch, fastball for strike one. Carter Beck, who's 1 for 1 with a walk on deck. Singled to center field his last time up, Carter Beck did. Line shot from Prieto, oh, just missed by about 4 feet. Doesn't matter what park you're in, when Carter Beck comes up to the plate, there's an anticipation in the air. Nervous energy from opposition players and fans. Special player, Beck is. Prieto, low velocity ground ball. Trig Mapes, oh, he lost the handle on it. Run comes in to score. And the Saskatoon Berries, with a little bit of insurance now, go up a deuce. It's 3-1. And the aforementioned Carter Beck. Just finished his freshman year at Indiana State. Fastball up. 1-0 count. Runners on the corners. And Beck does what Carter Beck does, puts lumber to baseball. And the Berries will go up a field goal here as Westland comes in to score. Single to right field by the young superstar from Cardiff. And now Nathan Houston to the plate. Boy, how about the small town Sasky kids in the lineup here for the Saskatoon Berries. Nathan Houston out of Melville. Carter Beck from Cardiff. Swift Current, not a sprawling metropolis by any means, so Ethan Murdoch, another small market guy. And that's the top of the order for Joe Carnahan's Saskatoon Berries. Carter Beck was in motion, but he'll head back as that was a foul ball. Hit and run was on. Fastball. Induces a foul ball. Top of the fourth inning. Berries have put up a crooked number. Riker Ratcliffe about to throw pitch number 81 of his evening. And we see action in Swift Current's bullpen. They're warming up a righty. Can't quite tell who that is right now, but we'll keep our eye on that situation. Oh, I think that's Chase Cummings, judging by the submarine delivery there. The 0-2, curveball. And Brody Alexander tags the runner. He threw Rydell Adair off the bag. And Carter Beck, oh man, the young man should have played that one through.
The right fielder, number 34, Ethan Murdoch.
Because Adair was off the bag, and the force wouldn't have counted in that situation. But Adair applying the tag after about a half second there. So yeah, a little bit of an oops from Beck. Two out, Houston. On at first via the fielder's choice. 1-0 count. Breaking ball off the plate. Ethan Murdoch, 1 for 1. And also has a walk. 5-1, the Berries lead it now. Nomar Prieto at third base during that exchange where Beck was thrown out at second. Runner in motion. And it's a swiped bag for Houston. Three and one count. Walk issued to Ethan Murdoch.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 24, Mason Royal.
Mason Royal out of West Bend, Wisconsin. 2 out and 2 on. Ethan Murdoch filling that empty base at first. And Rudy Estrella making his way out, and he is going to summon his pitcher from the bullpen. And Ratcliffe makes his way to the dugout. And I believe this is Chase Cummings entering the game. Ratcliffe, 3 2/3, 4 hits, 5 runs, only 2 of them earned. Walked 4, struck out 2, faced 21 along the way. Cummins on the year. This will be appearance number 4. 6 innings of work thus far, allowing 12 hits. 9 earned runs, has struck out 4 and walked 2, 13.5 earned run average.
Now pitching for the Swifter 57's number 13, Chase Cummins.
Cummins, 3 appearances on the year. He worked an inning when Swift Current was in Saskatoon in that 9-4 loss. Walked 1, struck out 1, faced 6. 2 earned runs in that contest. So he's familiar with the Berries, and the Berries somewhat familiar with him. Cummins pitching to Casey Prychek, Gus Kane at first, Rydell Adair at second, Trig Mapes at short, Brody Alexander at third base, Hilton, Jose Ayala, and Donovan Borg in the outfield. Silas Hilton touching home plate for the 57's lone run in this contest. They trail the Berries 5-1. Great start for Swift Current in this one. However, the past 2 innings, second time through the order, the firepower of the Saskatoon Berries coming to life. Berries hitting .294 as a team coming into this game. By contrast, Swift Current is a team really trying to find some offense, hitting .198 as a squad. Mason Roel. 1-0 count. Foul ball, a long strike for Cummins. Cummins, a straight-up submariner, those pitches coming from 6 o'clock. The 1-1. In the dirt, blocked by Prycheck. 2-1 the count now to Roel. Jalen Freeman waiting on deck. Two one. Jammed him. Ground ball to first. Gus Kane with the unassisted putout. And that'll do it for the Saskatoon Berries, but not before they do a little bit more damage and touch up the 57s for 3 runs in their half of the fourth on 2 hits, 157's error. And the Berries left 2 baby blues on the bases. 5-1 heading to the bottom of the fourth here on Flow Sports. Me. Bottom of the fourth, 5-1. The 57s trail. Donovan Borg singles into the 5-6 gap and gets himself on base. So the 57s with 1 on. 4, 5, 6 in the batting order. Borg, Prycheck, Ayala. Lefty v lefty here, which is just fine for Matt Whitney. Tries to paint the outside corner of the plate with a fastball that just missed outside. One-0 count. Oh, Prycheck puts lumber to baseball. So back-to-back hits for the 57s. Have a couple on here. And now Luis Ayala. Luis seeing the ball real well in this young season. He's 1 for 1 this game, hitting .529 on the year. Ayala coming into this game with 8 hits and 16 at-bats over 6 games. Base hit could narrow the deficit a little bit here with that runner at second base, Donovan Borg. Prycheck on at first. Sun setting in the western sky. Sun right in the eyes of the first baseman and the right fielder. And Ayala. They're going to ask him to get a bunt down. Oh, and he dropped the ball. And sneaking home is Donovan Borg. You know, you talk about the sky conditions, and I have to think that maybe that bright sun setting in the western sky messed with Waters a little bit. Ayala getting that bunt down, and the 1-3 putout did not go smoothly. The attempt at it. And Donovan Borg running through it. Good heads-up base running, and the deficit for the 57s is now 3 as Justin Ogando checks into this game, hitting where Brody Alexander was in the lineup. So Rudy Estrella bringing in Ogando, and his assignment looks like is going to be a little small ball here. Ogando out of the Bronx. I believe this is game number 2 for him. Yep. 1 for 3 in his debut earlier this week against Regina. Fastball in, 1-1. Ogando. One and 2 the count. Dust storm blowing through. Knocking the lid off of Whitney, the pitcher. Yeah, that wind just messing with everything. Rydell Adair at the plate now. Adair pops that up. Murdoch charges, and he's not going to be able to get to it in time. As he had to go for a significant jog to track that down. A lazy fly ball, but Ethan playing him deep and not able to reach that ball that was hammered a little bit by the elements. Bases loaded now. Tying run represented by Adair at first base as Trig Mapes makes his way to the plate.
Now batting the shortstop, number 18, Trey Mays.
So the 57s with 1 run thus far in the bottom of the 4th inning. Threatening for more with only 1 away here. Fouled off by Mapes. Barry's prepping a lefty. Mapes hit hard to short, and the Berries turn 2 and get themselves out of trouble. The 57s get one across the plate, but Mapes hitting into a double play. Prieto and Houston looking smooth as a gravy sandwich in the middle infield. 57s with 1 run on 3 hits, 1 Berry error, and 3 left out there. Top of 5 coming up. 5-2 Berries here on Flow Sports. Ground ball. Sorry, fighting through some audio issues here. And 5-3 put out.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 29, Corey Waters.
Corey Waters to the plate now. Corey Waters, line drive up the middle. That's going to bring in at least one. They pumped the brakes on the runner at third with one out. And an RBI for Waters, and the Saskatoon Berries get their 4-run lead back. As Nomar Prieto will hit now. Fastball at the letters. Swinging strike. The 1-1. Number 9 hitter at the plate now, Prieto. 0 for 2 with a run scored. And Prieto strikes out. 0 for 2. He's reached on error tonight, Prieto has. And top of the order, and Carter Beck with runners on the corners, 2 down. Carter Beck 2 for 2 with a couple RBI and a run scored. Ground ball. And 5-3 putout takes care of Carter Beck. Beck going into that at bat, his batting average on the year was 700. Oh, man. Put out that time via the 5-3. That'll drop him to a measly 636. And that'll do it for the Saskatoon Berries, who get 1 across the plate. They get 1 run on 3 hits and leave a couple out there. And they lead the Swift Current 57 6-2 here on Flow Sports.
Leading off for the Swift Current 57, sponsored by ACT Swift, the left fielder, number 25, Silas Hilton.
Top of the order due up for the 57s here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Hilton, Kane, Ayala. Matt Whitney continuing to deal for the Saskatoon Berries. Berries were warming up lefty Zach Laird, who just finished his senior year at Indiana State. Laird actually played in Swift Current in the 2022 season for head coach Joey Jordan. Pitch in the dirt. One and one the count. This is about to be pitch number 65 of Whitney's evening. And it's a swinging strike. 1-2 the count now. With the lights on and that wind still howling. Silas Hilton puts lumber to baseball. That could be trouble. The outfield playing him shallow, and that ball actually takes a hop over the outfield wall as Hilton makes it rain. That's his second double of the contest. Conventional double, and then the automatic double, hopping over the fence. And now Gus Kane. Sun's shining, 57. See if they can make a little hay here with a runner in scoring position. 6-2 the score. Gus 0 for 2. Jose Ayala on deck. Ground ball. Oh, through. Waters at first. And rounding third and heading for home is Silas Hilton. He touches home plate for the second time this evening. Gus Kane hammers him in. Ground ball that went through Corey Waters at first base. And the 57's down a field goal now. They're not going away, Swift Current. They're hanging around here in this one. You got perhaps the most potent offensive team in the league against a group that has struggled mightily with the Louisville Sluggers. But Swift Current hanging around. Down by 3 here as Ayala sends that ball foul. Runner on at first. Gus Kane awarded with a single to score Silas Hilton. Breaking ball from Whitney. 0-2 the count now as Ayala out in front of that pitch. Yeah, Zach Laird continuing to warm up in the Berries bullpen. Whitney about to throw his 70th pitch. And that is hit foul. Saskatoon Berries just looking at it. You know, the team with the most good arms is going to win. As Ayala hits that deep, hit back, and it's a home run! Jose Ayala! No way, Jose! And with one swing of the bat, the deficit is 1 as that tank makes the score 6-5 for Saskatoon. Well, that changes the complexion of things just a little bit here. And there's that Joe Carnahan slow walk out of the dugout. We've seen that a lot over the years in Swift Current colors. Joe's a man of few words. So with the crowd fired up and into this one, and the dugout showing signs of life, Can Donovan Borg keep things going here? Finishing a thought from earlier, the Saskatoon Berries this year, and it's going to be a challenge for Coach Joe Carnahan to give the volume of pitchers that he has enough innings of work. Joe's used 20 different pitchers this year at various points. By contrast, the 57s have used 10. The organization with the most good arms over that 56-game schedule tends to have the most success. And any team coached by Joe Carnahan, the goal is going to be a championship. 2-0 count to Donovan Borg, and Joe with no shortage of capable arms. And yeah, he's used 20 different guys thus far this year. Twice as many as the 57s. 2-1 the count to Donovan Borg. Of course, Joe with that massive network of connections. He's been a coach in this league since 2008. And back before this was a straight collegiate league, Joe played a number of years. I believe he played 7 seasons back before your eligibility ran out with your senior year. Donovan Borg caught looking. Strikeout for Whitney. Whitney's third punch out of the game. He's walked one. Breaking ball. Hops out of Sorensen's glove. Prycheck. Now facing a 1-0 count. Luis Ayala on deck. Jose Ayala, 3 runs batted in, including that 2-run home run. Three-0 count to Prycheck. Looks like lefty Zach Laird is going to be good to go here. Yep, thumbs up coming from the bullpen. And Prycheck was ready to head to first on ball 4, but Tyler Murphy says not so fast, Eager McBeaver. 3-1 count. And a full count now as Prycheck gets a piece of that baseball. Three-two pitch. Prycheck, ground ball. Houston, 6-3 put out, yep. Made Waters work for that one a little bit with that throw coming in about ankle level.
Now batting, sponsored by Tourism Saskatchewan, the designated hitter, number 8, Luis Ayala.
Luis Ayala, 1 for 2 tonight. Pitch number 83 from Matt Whitney is a called strike to Luis Ayala. Popped up. Look out, concession line. Second time these teams have played each other this year. These teams met earlier this month in Saskatoon at the field known as the Berry Patch. 9-4. Berries with a victory in that contest. They lead 6-5. 57s, though, with a 3-run bottom of the 5th. Nothing in 2 the count with 2 away. Ground ball. Slow roller to Westland and thrown away. 2-hopper to Waters, and that one passed him. And he's got to chase that ball down in the plethora of foul territory, the labyrinth of foul territory here at Mitchell Field. Not enough time for Ayala to safely and comfortably scamper to third base. Justin Ogando at the plate. Look at this. Runner in scoring position. Base hit could tie this game for the 57s. 57s came into this inning trailing by 4. The deficit is but 1. In this matchup of Prison Issue Orange versus Berry Blue. Popped up by Ogando. That's going to leave the playing surface. Ogando. Slow roller. This is going to be a tough play. Pitcher has to cover it first. Whitney is there, and it was close, but Ogando out at first. But the 57s, you know what? That was a big inning for them. Bottom of the 5th. 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 Berry error. And the 57s, unfortunately, leave 1 out there. And they'll try and hold the Berries at bay, trailing now by just 1. Top of 6 coming up, 6-5 Saskatoon here on Flow Sports.
3 runs, 3 hits, 1.
Back at Mitchell Field, Ryan Schweitzer bringing you the balls and strikes and play-by-play between the Swift Current 57s and the Saskatoon Berries. Chase Cummings continuing on the mound for Swift Current. 87 pitches thrown thus far by Matt Whitney. You wonder if he's going to come back out for the bottom of the 6th inning. And leading off for the Saskatoon Berries, Nathan Houston, their shortstop. 2-3-4 due up. Houston, Murdoch, and Rowell. Hey, we got the headset on a guy who was somewhat familiar with baseball fans last year, who got to do a little bit of webcasting when we did so. Mitchell Cook back with things. I know you helped out with the 57s last year. You were working for the organization. Now you got yourself a full-time gig as, am I saying the title right, Executive Director, Tourism Swift Current?
Yes, that is the correct title.
All right. And, yeah, you know what? It's good to have you on here. I mean, you're connected to the 57s. You know, you're helping out, working the concession. You were a big part of the organization last year, you know, as intern-type role. Who, you know, other duties is assigned, and he did damn near everything that one could do for this ball club. And now you got yourself a full-time gig as the Executive Director of Tourism Swift Current. And a lot of people listening to this webcast will eventually be tourists in Swift Current. Sell us on the experience, Mitchell. What's going on this summer?
Swift Current, summertime, one of the most beautiful times in Swift Current. Spring is obviously pretty great too, as everything starts to green up and the city starts to showcase itself very well. We have tons of events. We got lots of great local restaurants and local parks and green spaces to check out as well. While you're in the area, you can come visit our tourism office, which is located in the Swift Current Mall.
Yeah, ground ball. gathered by Trig Mapes, and not in time as Houston's able to leg that one out. The tourism office, in the Swift Current Mall, real easy to find. You can get 57's merch there too, right?
Yes, you can.
There
Yes, you can. As you mentioned earlier, I spent a lot of time interning with this club last year. There were some weeks we put in 50 hours, and it all paid off as I'm actually graduating from the University of Regina next week with the sport rec management degree that the 57s have helped me get. And so as you mentioned tonight, I'm working down at the concession. It's always other duties as assigned and all hands on deck here. We have a pretty full ballpark tonight. Lots of minor baseball teams and minor tournaments in town. So just giving them a hand here. I'll be back again.
Oh, no. Sorry, just calling a comedy of errors here as the 57s end up throwing a snap throw attempt to get the runner at first into the outfield. And, oh, man, running all over the place was Houston. He ended up wearing a baseball that hit him as it was being thrown in. But anyway, so you just graduated from the U of R, sports rec and management?
Yeah, sport recreation management. Yeah, it's a pretty good program there, and I've been able to get my role with tourism and with the Swift Current Broncos, helping out with them, and of course Swift Current 57s, just getting involved in the community everywhere I can.
Hey, I got to ask you, the guy at the plate right now, Ethan Murdoch. Did you go to school with him?
I did go to school.
Familiar with him?
I did go to
I
school with
figured you
Ethan
guys
Murdoch.
are around the same age.
Yeah, I think he's only a year or two younger than myself.
You remember him well?
Yeah, he was a great kid. He was always good in gym class. Really good at kicking everybody's butt in gym class.
Well, he's kicking everybody's butt at baseball, so that hasn't changed. But nice humble kid, eh?
Yeah, great. A good family from Swift Current. I saw his dad earlier today too, who also used to teach. What's this?
They're trying the wave at Mitchell Field.
The wave at Mitchell Field. Unbelievable.
The Swift Current Creek Ripple. Here, did they give up on it? Oh, no, they're trying.
They're still
there
going.
There it is, yeah.
It's kind of a bowl shape as long as you can get, one end to communicate with the other.
Everyone's having fun here.
I mean, hey, as I mentioned, a part of that concession I worked for earlier, they were selling beers, and we've sold lots of those tonight. So people are enjoying those.
A Swifty Saturday night.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. So when your phone rings at the tourism office, as Rudy Estrella making his way out, and I think Hunter Mark may come in to pitch here for the Swift Current 57s. This might do it for Cummins here. But, working at the tourism office, when your phone rings or when your email bings or when you get notifications with questions from people, what is a frequently asked question that you get, and what is the answer?
So one of the most frequently asked questions we get is, we're in Swift Current. What is a great restaurant we have to go to? What's a good spot that we got to go check out and get some really good local food?
And I think you can answer that honestly, because I don't think we have any sponsors that are restaurants yet.
Oh,
so we don't have to worry about offending a sponsor. So where do you direct people to eat? I mean, I know where I would say.
Yeah, so there's a few places in town that I always like to make sure I get a shout out. Acropole Restaurant and Lounge downtown. They do a great job with all their food, and their atmosphere. The inside of their building is very nice. I try to tell people to go and check that out all the time. And then Original Joe's. So Original Joe's, for the people listening back home, it is also kind of a restaurant pub style bar. They are local to Saskatchewan. So there's some locations across Saskatchewan here. I want to say maybe 4 or 5 of them, and Swift Current's lucky to have one, and they have great local ownership. They employ all sorts of local people that are students here as well and are around. So those are 2 of the best spots that I like to make sure everybody gets to check out. But honestly, there's a lot of good options here.
Oh, I know. Like, it's tough to stay disciplined with the diet in Swift Current. Like, there's a lot of good places to eat here. I like that you mentioned the Acropole, a family-owned restaurant in Swift for it's multi-generational, actually. We're into generation number 2, and when Johnny packs it in, I think his son will probably take over as well, so that's a nice little staple downtown. You gave Tyler the shout-out at OJ's. I like the Nightjar, too,
Yes. Nightjar is also a very unique one as well. They sell a lot of different food that is...
It's eclectic.
It's eclectic. Like, they have things on the menu that you're not going to find at most other places. So certainly a collection of things there that are all enjoyable.
Yeah, for sure. Hunter Mark coming in to pitch for the Swift Current 57s, by the way. Hunter Mark on the year. This will be his 4th appearance, 6 1/3 innings of work. He struck out 6 and walked 5. 9 earned runs on his watch. He'll look to lower that 12.78 earned run average the deeper he goes into the season here. Chase Cummins leaves this game after working an inning and a third, allowing 4 hits, 1 earned run, striking out 1 and walking 1. But couple of his runners are on base right now, so Hunter Mark coming in with a little something to clean up here. As at the plate now for Saskatoon is Mason Roel. But yeah, beautiful night at the ballpark here, and as we mentioned, lots of fans. You're selling lots of beers tonight. What's the so you're working beer booth?
Yeah. So if you've never been to Mitchell Field, which hopefully you do get out here to our community and to our field soon, we have two major concessions. One is where you can get all of your food, and then we have another one down on the third baseline, which is where I am, where they normally have your burgers and hot dogs along with alcohol sales, and then all your snacks too. So yeah, all sorts of things down there.
What is Swift Current's favorite beer?
Swift Current's favorite beer tonight is Miller Lite. Miller Lite has been flying off the shelf. We actually sold out of it so quick that we were telling people, you know what, the Miller Lite is not cold. It is lukewarm at best. And people are like, you know what, that's all right. Give me a Miller Lite.
It's a bit of a chilly evening, so you know what, some lukewarm Miller Lite maybe would hit the spot. But I would not have predicted that.
No, me either. It's a light beer, though. It's It's a Canadian beer, I believe.
Well, it's a good ballpark beer, yeah. Like it's crushable, right? So if you're here and planning a safe ride home, why wouldn't a guy, right?
Exactly.
Like a good crushable light beer, yeah. No, that makes sense. I get it. Wouldn't have guessed that. Is that, that's the favorite beer is like they have those lemonades,
Yeah. Oh.
Alcohol-infused lemonades. Oh, pitch out of Prychek's glove. That's going to move runners to second and third. Saskatoon looking to get their 4-run lead back after the 57s put up 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th. But yeah, the lemonades, those going?
Those Simply Spiked lemonades are going as well. We also have a new iced tea. It's local to Saskatchewan.
Yes, I tried that.
And it's called You Bet iced tea. And it's also been flying off the shelves as well. Lots of people have been enjoying those. So, yeah, certainly a few different drink options down there. We've had some people getting into some of the hard liquor as well, your spiced rums, your whiskeys and all that. So, yeah, no, it's a great collection.
Oh, 57's in a little bit of a jam here. Hunter Mark and crew got to tighten up the defense. Infield is in. Jalen Freeman at the plate. Bases loaded and nobody out here. So are you still, I think you mentioned you're still doing some work with the Riders, the CFL team?
Yes.
I'm going to get you. Explain because we have a lot of American viewers, right? Like a lot of American family. Explain the CFL to someone who is not familiar with it.
Okay, so, oh man, this is tough. So
where do you even begin? I know I kind of set you up for failure, but I know that you'll be able to Houdini yourself out of trouble here.
So it is a professional football league. The players do get paid to play football. It is not quite as much as NFL players. So your average CFL player might make, let's say, between $100,000 and $150,000 per year.
Chump change.
Well, I mean, as far as professional sports go, yes. But yeah, no. So that's kind of that average salary. And then, of course, while they're here, their rides and their housing and their food is all looked after and paid for. So they're doing well for themselves for sure. The other major difference with the CFL, it is 3-down football, not 4-down. So you do see more punting. There's different rules with the punts though. So basically, there are no fair catches in the CFL.
Yeah,
that's the big thing. Special teams is a way bigger part of the game, and it's a lot more exciting.
The Berries are going to get one across the plate here as a run is walked in. Jalen Freeman, disciplined at bat, and the Berries go up a couple now, 7-5.
So yeah, I'm still working with the Rough Riders, still part of their game entertainment team, and that's been great. I want to turn the tables a little bit here, though, Swites.
Uh-oh.
Talk to me about the 57s, okay? So they're obviously in. The record hasn't been necessarily what they want so far, but it's hard to really read a team this early into June. They're only, a week and a half, 2 weeks into their season now. So what's been going on here? I mean, obviously they got on the bats a little bit tonight, and they made this game close.
Looks like a run is going to be balked in here. That's tough.
Yeah, not ideal here. So what's going on with the team here? Well, I mean, obviously.
Well, the offense just isn't there, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm a glass half full kind of guy, and I don't like to be critical. You'll have a lot of play-by-play guys who are like, "Oh, I call it like it is. I need my credibility," and I'm not the guy who's going to be critical of guys. Somebody just got ejected, I think.
Oh no.
Philip McGee, the second base umpire, I think he got tired of someone chirping from the dugout, and here comes Rudy Estrella, the Swift Current 57's coaching staff. Rudy Estrella and Sean Lee have both been ejected this week, and now Rudy taking a nice slow walk out to have a chat with crew chief Philip McGee. I don't think he liked that balk call that brought in a run.
Well, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, to answer your question, you can dive into it, but short answer is they haven't found their bats as of yet. As a team, their batting average is 198 right now, and you're not going to win.
Right.
With a 198 team batting average. Now, having said that, it's a long summer. It's a 56-game schedule. Every player pretty much in the league is going to go through hot and cold spells, right?
Of course.
And the optimist in me right now is just, there's 3 phases to this season, the beginning, the middle, and the end. Different players are going to be good at different times throughout the year. And the optimist in me is, okay, you know what? First phase of the season has not gone smoothly. We still have a lot of June and all of July, and hopefully the postseason. It's going to be tough, but offensively, they haven't been able to combine and get the necessary runs. Now tonight they managed to put together some situational hitting and get some runs across the plate.
The other thing I do want to add here is, the start of the season hasn't gone the way they wanted to. I do want to give these guys, obviously with my role with tourism and everything, I'm very connected within the community and seeing a lot of things and talking to a lot of people. And from what I've heard is that we have a great group of people here on this baseball team. They've been out in the community. They've been, connecting with sponsors, connecting at local events and stuff. And I think that they plan to keep that up moving forwards.
Yep.
And I think the team overall has done a pretty good job at just involving fans more with their Family Friday event last night, and players are getting involved that way as well. So we have some great people here. So maybe the baseball isn't going quite the way they've hoped so far, but you know what? It's like you mentioned, it's a long season. We got some good folks here. I'm not sure what happened there.
Well, a ground ball, and the runners just weren't moving. So Ogondo. Now, I'm not sure what happened in that situation. Looked like the ball put into play there.
Unless they called it foul off of a funny bounce maybe before.
Yeah, it might have just bounced off the plate before getting put into play. In any event, breaking ball from Hunter Mark. Ooh, didn't miss by much. 2-2 the count here. But yeah, and new president of the organization, Jamie LeBlanc, he's a great leader. He's got a ton of experience in sport. He was a really, really valuable asset to the local hockey team for many years. And just a great dude. And he's come in and he's implemented those things that you've talked about. So, yeah, unfortunately, everything's kind of gone well for this organization except the win-loss record. And, they hopefully the bats can come to life here for the 57s at some point here. And, it's, like I said, 3 different phases to the season, a beginning, middle, and an end. The beginning has not gone smoothly, but broken bat shot there. Ogondo grabs that one, and they get the out at first base. Runners stay put. And, yeah, busted bat shot. So yeah, we'll see how things go. It's a long season as Cooper Westland comes up to the plate now. Did the Riders, they won their season opener, right?
Yes, they did. They got a 31-26 win at home. So, yeah, they played in front of about 25,000 strong. And, it was a overall pretty good turnout for a Thursday night. And got the win they needed, and they'll look to move on. So I look to move on to next week.
No, that's big. Saskatchewan's professional sports team. Breaking ball just misses up. I guess we got that professional lacrosse team, too.
Yeah.
The Rush.
The province is taking a little more time to warm up to that one as they are pretty new. The Riders have been around for obviously 100-plus years now, but
the Rush actually owned by the same company as the Saskatoon Berries.
Yes, the Saskatoon
Berries. Entertainment Group also own a Western Hockey League team, so that's one advantage that this Berry organization has. They're essentially a big corporation, so they have extra assets when it comes to marketing and everything. Their hockey people can market the baseball team in the off season. So fastball now to Westland, and 3-0 count. Empty bag at first, 1 down. The Berries have put up a crooked number here in the top of the 6th and lead this game by a score of 8-5. These teams back in action tomorrow, 4 o'clock at Mitchell Field.
Which
As the 3-0 fastball, strike one.
I would just say I will be here at 4 p.m. tomorrow as well. I'll be doing some in-stand announcing, playing some games with some fans and such, so that'll be a...
Oh, you're rocking the mic tomorrow, eh?
Yeah, get back on the mic tomorrow and
attaboy.
Enjoy that. I have about a dozen games I signed up for, and of course it's a ballpark, right? As situations come up or things get canceled or moved around in my schedule, I'll be here again in that small town organization mindset of helping sling some beers or sell some merchandise or whatever it takes, but...
Team guy.
Team guy.
Mitchell Cook, team guy, as Westland draws a walk, and that'll load the bases. One down here. And Corey Waters. I believe Corey's brother Chase is a former member of that Saskatoon hockey team that we referenced. So Corey, second player in his family to toil for the Saskatoon Entertainment Group. Called strike.
Yeah, I'm sure the Berries are looking to build on a good season. I believe they got eliminated in the playoffs last year to Moose Jaw, maybe, was it?
Yeah, Moose Jaw got them in the Eastern Finals. And I know, well, that Saskatoon Entertainment Group that I talked about, they're a group that wants to win a championship at something. The Saskatoon Rush haven't won a championship under their watch. They went all in to try and get the Saskatoon Blades Western Hockey League team a championship, and the WHL is such a competitive league. It's hard to win in that. They had a great run, but no rings. And, you know, I got to think Joe Carnahan's team, the Saskatoon Berries, the baseball team, might be the team in that group to do it. I mean, nobody's ever won a championship the first week in June, but dang, they're looking good.
They're looking good right now.
Oh, swinging at the high heat, the seductive high fastball. And the 57s needed that with the bases loaded as Waters strikes out. Nomar Prieto now to the plate with 2 down, and the sacks juiced, already 2 across the plate here. The Berries looking for more. Are you still racing cars, too?
Yes, still racing stock cars.
You want to talk about things to do in Swift Current, the Speedy Creek Racing.
Yep, Speedy Creek Raceway's back under full swing in their season. Oh, boy, trouble.
Oh, yeah. A wild pitch is uncorked as the runner scores from third, and the Berries put up a field goal here in the top of the 6th and now lead it 9-5. But, yeah, the Speedy Creek Racing. Now, you had a race and you lost to your sister.
I did.
Like your sister's like the Danica Patrick of Swift Current, eh?
Yeah. She's basically earned that title for herself, which is great for her. It's awesome.
Or I don't know. I don't follow racing real close. Is that accurate?
Yeah, she's very good. So last year she had an older car that was rougher around the edges, and she was able to compete with it, constantly finishing in the top 3, top 5, usually out of 10 or 12 racers, which was great. And then this year she just upgraded to a new car, and she put a fresh coat of bright pink paint on it. And now she is as fast as everybody else, and
she's not racing powder puff, like she's racing with the guys.
Yeah,
right?
Oh yeah. She is. She's an 18-year-old girl racing with all the guys, and she put us all to shame this past week. So good for her.
You know what, Mitch, and I say this with a little bit of jest, but also with the same amount of seriousness. You're kind of a big deal in Swift, and Bree, she's kind of like grown up in your shadow in Swift. So I'm glad that she's getting this one, as there's a shot by Prieto hit into right field. Donovan Borg makes the catch, and that'll do it. The Saskatoon Berries are going to leave 2 out there, but they end up scoring 3, and they lead the Swift Current 57s by a score of 9-5 here. And that'll do it for the top of the 6th inning. Hey, thanks a bunch for coming up here and popping the headset on. It's always good to talk to you, amigo.
Yeah, no, it's great popping up, and glad. Hopefully we can kind of do this every once in a while throughout the season as our schedule allows. And thanks for having me up. Hopefully everybody enjoyed that, and we'll be back.
The door to the booth is always open, brother.
Awesome, sweet.
All right, thanks, Mitch.
Talk soon.
New pitcher for the Saskatoon Berries as Zach Laird is deployed by Berries coach Joe Carnahan. This will be Laird's third appearance on the year. He's worked 3 innings, only allowed 1 hit, struck out 3 and walked 1. Spotless ERA as of right now. Matt Whitney going 5, allowing 10 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, struck out 3 and walked 1. Faced 25 batters, threw around 80 pitches while doing so. So Zach Laird, who played a summer in Swift Current back in 2022, the senior, guy who just wrapped his senior year at Indiana State, gets set to face Rydell Adair, who I believe AP'd when Laird played here. Adair, Mapes, and Hilton, 8-9-1 due up. 57s came to within 1 run after that 3-run 5th inning. However, the Saskatoon Berries responding with 3 of their own in the top of the 6th, so a bit of a slugfest here. How will the 57s respond? Laird is diminutive on the mound, but that arm strength is huge. He's about 5'7", but he breaks 90 with that fastball. We had the gun on him a few years ago, and yeah, he was routinely 90 and above. He induces the swinging strike there, lefty on lefty against Rydell Adair. Nothing in 2 the count to Rydell. Laird out of Langley, British Columbia, which is part of that Vancouver metro area. Beautiful part of the world. Vancouver, Oceanside community. One, 2. Laird trying to paint that outside corner, lefty on lefty. Just missed by a bit. Count now 2-2. Adair staying disciplined and not chasing outside the zone. The wind has died down a little bit. Strike 3, swinging strikeout.
Now batting, the shortstop, number 18, Trig Mates. Nope.
David Jinks into pinch hit where Trig Mapes was in the lineup.
Pinch hitter, number 23, David Jinks.
We're at 14 degrees Celsius right now, which is 57 Fahrenheit. Yeah, the bunny hugs are out. If you're new to our broadcast and from outside Saskatchewan, bunny hug is what we call a hooded sweatshirt here. It's likely a hoodie where you're from. I don't know the origin. I don't know why. But folks here clad in bunny hugs. The 0-2. Gets him on the high heat. '57s losing 9-5, but they've actually out-hit the Berries 10-8. 5 errors between the 2 teams as well. Not the cleanest game we've ever seen at Mitchell Field. But yeah, we referenced it earlier. Weather conditions, a bit of an equalizer here between these squads. Silas Hilton, he's had himself a game at the plate. 2 for 2 with a couple runs scored. 2 doubles. One-0. Shot up the middle. Nomar Prieto, the second baseman, got a glove on it, but unable to make a play in time and was wise to just eat that one and wouldn't want to risk throwing it away. As Gus Kane will take a turn now. Bottom of the 6th inning. Fastball from the left hand of Laird. 0-1 the count. Runner checked over at first. Kane, hard foul ball into the backstop. Talking about Swift Current connections on this Saskatoon Berry squad. There's 4 of them. Zach Laird on the mound, who played in Swift in 2022. Ethan Murdoch, member of the 2023 Swift Current 57s. We touched on Joe Carnahan, who was both a player and a coach in this organization for a long, long time, almost 20 years. And you can't forget Clavert Martina, last year's WCBL strikeout leader, who played for the 57s. And in the offseason, found a way onto the Berries roster. We'll see if we see Clay Martina in action, WCBL All-Star. Wild pitch over top of Balin Sorensen, and that's going to allow the base runner for the 57s, Hilton, to scamper to second base. Deuce is wild here. Two. Kane continuing to battle and fouls that off. The 2-2. Strike 3. Hilton left stranded. 6 innings in the books. 9-5 Berries here on Flow Sports. Carter Beck and the top of the order leading off for the Saskatoon Berries here in the top of the 7th inning. Carter Beck 2 for 3 with a run scored, 2 RBI, and comes into this at bat hitting a measly .636. 0-1 the count to the pride of Cardiff, Saskatchewan. There is much to be proud of in Cardiff, but nothing more so than this young man. Scintillating young athlete who puts butts in seats. That offering is popped up. And Casey Prychek able to make the catch in foul territory.
Now batting the shortstop, number 11, Nathan Houston.
So Beck flies out to 2. Saskatoon Berries with a 4-run lead here in the top of the 7th inning. 9-5 they lead it. Nathan Houston out of Melville, Saskatchewan. Melville, nice quiet community in the eastern part of the province. Plenty of lakes in the area. They used to have a team in this league, the Melville Millionaires. I miss those trips to Melville. It was, you know, in many ways, a park that time forgot. Romanticizing about the good old days here. But yeah, they had like beer gardens. Like just an area with picnic tables. You can only drink beer there. Scorekeepers in the score box. Public address announcers. They're smoking cigarettes up there. And this was like as little as like 10 years ago. Lots of personality. Perry Field, the ballpark there. Located near a campground. And holy cow, mosquitoes the size of sparrows out there. That wasn't an enjoyable part of it. You forget to put on bug spray, you end up feeling lightheaded by about the 3rd inning. They'll drain you. Ethan Murdoch waiting on deck here. He would have played some minor ball in Melville, I bet. Full count here to that aforementioned son of Melville, Nathan Houston. Ground ball. Hit to short. David Jinks drops, recovers, throws, and takes Gus Kane off the bag. So Nathan Houston safe at first. Jinks had to hurry that throw and wasn't able to properly target Kane. Now Ethan Murdoch. Murdoch 1 for 1 with a run scored and 3 walks. Swift pitching has not given him a darn thing to work with. Houston on first, officially scored an E6. Fastball as Hunter finds the mark. 1-1 with 1 away. Mason Roel on deck. The lefty, Hunter Mark. With a runner in motion. They get him. On time and on target. Casey Prychek erases Houston from the equation. I remember post-game meals in Melville at the Waverly Hotel. I think the Waverly, great little spot, classic Saskatchewan hotel bar restaurant. I think it burned down not that long ago, but they used to have Biggie Burgers. That was the post-game meal in Melville. These burgers were like 10 inches in diameter on a giant bun, too. Oh. Ground ball to David Jinks. Oh, yeah, there you go. Nice little 6-3 put out, and the Berries end up going 3 up, 3 down after Houston reached on that E6 but then was caught stealing. Nothing doing for the Berries in the top of the 7. We will stretch and be back with Swift on the Sticks when we return here on Flow Sports. Well, that was fun. In the 7th inning stretch, they always do the kid conductor thing, so they brought out the Etonia Wheat King baseball team. The entire team, including, I think, some dads there, and, well, let's just say that I hope they have a safe ride back to the hotel. That one fella that was out there, no one can accuse him of sobriety. Hey, we're having fun here. Couple of full beer cans on the field. Let's go. Zach Laird into deal. All right. He's up against Jose Ayala, which means that we're at the number 3 spot in Swift's batting order. 3-4-5, Ayala, Borg, Prychek. Laird in his 90-mile-an-hour arm. He goes curveball this time, and a 0-2 count on Jose. Ayala 2 for 3. Had that 2-run dinger. He's driven in 3 runs tonight. Oh, strike 3 on the high heat. That'll bring Donovan Borg to the plate. Casey Prychek on deck. And Laird throwing gas. 0-1 the count. Breaking ball. And Borg singles in the 5-6 gap. That's Borg's 3rd hit of the ball game.
Sponsored by Fraternal Order of Eagles Swift Current, the catcher, number 15, Casey Prychek.
Casey Prychek, who's 1 for 3 tonight. Lefty on lefty matchup. Runner checked over at first. Prychek redirecting that baseball into the gear of Valen Sorensen, catcher for the Berries. Sorensen behind the plate, waters at first. Newcomer for the Berries, Nomar Prieto at second. Nathan Houston at short. Cooper Westland at third base. Jalen Freeman, Carter back, and Ethan Murdoch the outfield. Wild pitch uncorked from Laird, and that will allow Donovan Borg to make his way to second base. 2-1 the count to Casey. 9-5 the Berries lead it here. Bottom of the 7th inning, 1 away. It's cold. Temperature getting into the lower 50s here for our American friends. 14 degrees Celsius. 2-2 the count now with 1 away. Foul ball into the backstop. Prycheck. Check swing, gets a piece of the ball. Two-two pitch goes to a curveball. Barry's warming up a righty in their bullpen, Tanner Hozick, out of UNO, University of Nebraska at Omaha. Two-two. Did he go? No, he didn't, says Connor Jocelyn, third base umpire. And now a full count. Popped up. Playable for Westland. Nope, he can't find it. And it's out of the ballpark. Lost in the lights, but not playable anyway. So Prycheck continues to scrap here. We're about to get pitch number 10 of this exchange with Prycheck. Laird 31 pitches, a third of them against Casey Prycheck. And he ends up walking him. Prycheck wins that war of attrition. Laird a little bit of a stink eye towards home plate umpire Tyler Murphy, not agreeing with that ball four assessment.
Now batting, sponsored by Tourism Saskatchewan, the designated hitter, number 8, Luis Ayala.
Luis Ayala. Fastball just missing up. The 1-1. Chop foul by Luis Ayala. The 1-2 pitch with one down. Breaking ball gets him. And that'll bring Joe Carnahan out of the dugout. 2 down. And that'll do it for Zach Laird. And into pitch. Looks like Tanner Hossick is going to get a turn here. He was warming up in the bullpen. Got a live arm. Tell by that first warm-up pitch that he threw there. Right-hander out of UNO. 2 appearances, 2 1/3 innings of work. Struck out 3, hasn't walked anyone. Another guy in this Barry's bullpen with a spotless ERA. He's number 55, and is that because he's 5'5"?
For the Saskatoon Berries, number 55, Tanner Hosick.
Little guy, big velo. His first assignment is going to be Justin Ogando. So bottom of the 7th, 9-5 Barry's lead. 2 on for the 57s, 2 out here. Tanner Hosick on cleanup here. Rydell Adair on deck. Ogando 0 for 2 tonight. Fastball just missing down and away. The 1-1. One and 2 the count. Count 1 and 2. That fastball's humming from Hosick. Tries to get Ogando to chase low and away. Good take by the 57's infielder. Well, we see former 57's pitcher Clavert Martina, who pitched here last season, led the league in strikeouts. Starting to limber up a little bit in the Barrie bullpen. Full count to Ogando. Strike 3. And Hosick, after that strike 3, gives the dugout an LFG. Fired up. 9-5 Barries, top of the 8th coming up here on Flow Sports.
brought to you by the K Motel Steakhouse and Springs Garden Family Restaurant. Both locations offer a variety of menu options for the whole family to enjoy. Leading off for the Saskatoon Berries, the designated hitter number 24, Mason Roel.
All right, Mason Roel leading off for Saskatoon. Top of the 8th inning, 9-5 Berries lead it here on Flow Sports. Ryan Schweitzer happily providing play-by-play from Mitchell Field and Swift Current, and will be doing so again tomorrow when Swift Current meets Saskatoon. 4 o'clock, first pitch here from Mitchell Field, little matinee action. 57s with Monday off, and then Tuesday night host Regina to wind down a 6-game homestand. That unfortunately has yet to yield any fruit. Roel, Freeman, Sorensen due up here for the Berries here in the top of the 8th. 57's had that 3-run 6th inning, including a 2-run home run by Jose Ayala. The offense has not been there this season for the 57s. However, there has been a few sparks this evening, as Roel is walked in 4 pitches. Silas Hilton with 3 hits. Jose Ayala with a couple. Donovan Borick 3 for 4 tonight. Top of the order's been there for the 57s. Top 4 hitters all have a hit tonight, and they've all touched home plate. Freeman, foul ball. Jalen Freeman, second summer in Saskatoon by way of Houston, Texas. Balin Sorensen, the catcher, on deck. Ball bounces away from Prychek, and Roel opportunistically gallops to second. Swinging strike. Big hack. Bat snaps into the vacant air for a 2-2 count. Ground ball. Rydell Adair at second. That's going to be a tough play. One hopper to Gus Kane, and they get it in time. Roel does advance to third base through all that.
And with that out, beer is on sale. 2 for $11 at the Diamond Energy
Oh.
booth until the end of the inning. Thanks to Full Line Ag. Now batting the catcher, number 8, Balin Sorensen.
Sorensen 2 for 4 with a run scored. Breaking ball. Oh, nice pitch from Hunter Mark. Count 1-1. Ball's fouled off by Sorensen. 1-2 the count now. Fastball. Wild pitch uncorked there from Hunter Mark, and into scores Roel. 2-2 the count now with one away. Base is empty. Full count now. Strike three, got him looking. Philip McGee, crew chief tonight. Saw some out warnings from for both of the dugouts. A lot of trash talking going on at field level.
Anderson and Company Law Firm strikeout 400 mark. Now batting the third baseman, number 2, Cooper Westland.
Cooper Westland as the Berries hit double digits. Well, it's going to be a tough task for the 57s to come back in this one. We're in the top of the 8th inning. The deficit is 5. Joe Carnahan with an ample amount of cannons for arms in his bullpen. But some positives for the 57s. They get 12 hits tonight and counting. This game isn't over yet. An offensively challenged team with a team batting average below the Mendoza line coming into this one. However, 12 hits tonight. They've out-hit the Berries, but Berries leading 10-5 where it counts. Fastball inside, just below the letters. Both dugouts have received warnings in this one. Crew chief Philip McGee not having any of it. 1-2. Strike three, got him. Well, bottom of the 8th coming up, 57s. The deficit is 5, and they'll try and take a bite into that 5-run Barrie lead when we return here on Flow Sports. Adair Jinx Hilton due up. 8-9-1. Tanner Hosick continuing to deal for the Berries. Fly ball in foul territory, and Westland makes the catch, the third baseman.
Now batting the shortstop, number 23, David Jinx.
We know that someone in the 57's dugout was ejected earlier this game. I believe it was Rudy Estrella, his second ejection this week. And third 57's coach ejection of the week as well. Sean Lee also got ran. Sean Lee handling the head coaching type duties here at Swift. So good thing there's a nice robust 50-50 tonight, because I believe that's a fine once you get to the second ejection. Could be wrong. Hosick induces a swinging strike to David Jinks. Jinks 0 for 1 thus far, striking out the last time he was up. One pitch, kicks up some dirt. 2-1 now. Top of the order in Silas Hilton, who's got 3 hits this game. 3 for 3, Silas. Hitters count here for Jinks. Strike 1 on the fastball. The 3-2. Ground ball. Prieto. 4-3 put out. Top of the order for the 57s. Let's see if Silas Hilton can stay hot. 3 for 3 this game with 2 runs scored and a walk. 2 doubles. Silas Hilton's best offensive outing of the season thus far. A native of Placitas, New Mexico. High heat as Hosick pumps Ched past Hilton for strike 1. Gus Kane on deck. One hopper over the catcher. Evening things out at 1. Was thinking we might get a look at Clavert Martina tonight, but no action in the Berries bullpen. Former member of the 57s, led the league in strikeouts last year. Made the offseason move to Saskatchewan. 1-2 the count now. Two and 2 the count with 2 away. Hosick trying to get Hilton to chase out of the zone. Good eye from Silas. Full count now with 2 away. Fastball up and in. And Silas Hilton has successfully found his way on base in all of his at-plate endeavors tonight. 3 for 3 with a pair of walks. And Gus Kane, who's 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. He's got Silas Hilton at first to work with. Fastball inside. Swinging strike. Gus Kane trying to get 2 more RBI with 1 swing of the bat. All in on that cut. Fastball up and out. Righty on lefty matchup here. Hozik, 2-1 count, having a bit of trouble locating here on Kane. Oh, never mind. Fastball that Kane swings through. Deuce is wild here. Fouled off by Gus. The 2-2. Kane works a full count. That was the 25th pitch from Tanner Hozik. The 3-2. That one almost going behind Gus. Might have actually hit him in the ankle. Joe Carnahan making his way out to have a conversation with his pitcher in infield. 2 out here and 2 on. Haven't seen any action in the bullpen. Slow walk and a quick visit. Classic Joe.
Now batting, sponsored by Senior Rewards, the center fielder number 1, Jose Ayala.
Jose 2 for 4 with 3 runs batted in. Had that home run earlier. A couple guys on base for him if he wants to do it again. One 0 count. Two 0. Hozik's been throwing heat, but having a tough time locating. 12 for striker contact, 16 out of the zone of his pitches. Make it 17 now. 29 pitches, only 12 for striker contact thus far. And a 3-0 count. Ayala at the plate. Donovan Borg, who's 3 for 4 on deck. Top of the order for Swift has been good tonight. 3-0 fastball for strike 1 on Jose. And yeah, Clavert Martina warming up now. Ball 4. Donovan Borg.
Now batting, sponsored by Living Sky Casino, the right fielder number 3, Donovan Borg.
Donovan Borg gets a piece of that ball, redirects it into the gear of catcher Balin Sorensen. Borg 3 for 4 with a run scored. Nothing in one, the count on him. 2 away here. Barry's looking for an elusive third out. Silas Hilton walked. Gus Kane walked. Jose Ayala walked. 0-2 though to Borg. Backstop fodder. Bases loaded for the 57s. The 0-2. Strike 3, caught him looking. So the Saskatoon Berries give up 3 walks to load the bases and then strike out Donovan Borg. Top of the 9th. Coming up, 10-5 Berries here on Flow Sports. All right.
Leading off for the Saskatoon Berries, the first baseman, number 29, Corey Waters.
Waters, Prieto, Beck, 8-9-1 due up for the Saskatoon Berries. Broderick Bornstein into deal for the 57s. Bornstein seen a little bit of work in this homestand. Hunter Mark went 3 innings. 2 runs, 1 earned, walked 4, struck out 3 of the 13 batters that he faced. This will be Bornstein's team leading 5th appearance of the season. 11 1/3 innings of work. 9 hits, 4 earned runs. Well, knock on wood, as we say, he hasn't walked anyone yet and struck out 10. 0-1 with a 3.17 earned run average. Bornstein has been good. He induces a ground ball. Gondo, great play by Justin to put together a 5-3.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 3, Normar Prieto.
Number 9 hitter in the lineup, Normar Prieto. Top of the order, and Carter Beck on deck. Oh, stray fastball into the bicep area of Prieto.
Now batting, the center fielder number 20, Carter Beck.
Bornstein, breaking ball to Beck. Righty on lefty here. Runner in motion. Throw off target. Bag for Westland. Or pardon me, that's Prieto. One down, runner in scoring position all of a sudden for Carter Beck. Dangerous situation here. Beck 2 for 4 tonight with a couple of runs batted in. Fastball is up. And Beck walked in 4. First walk of the season issued by Bornstein. Oh, I mentioned he hadn't given one up yet. That one might be on me. Taps chest. Nathan Houston, 1 for 5 with a run scored. That one comes close to hitting Houston. Runners in motion. Fly ball, left field. Catch made, and now both runners have to scurry back. The double hit and run on there, and then a fly ball by Houston into the glove of Silas Hilton.
Now batting, the right fielder number 34, Ethan Murdoch.
And now Ethan Murdoch up to the plate with 2 down here in the top of the 9th. 5-run lead for Murdoch's Saskatoon Berries. Outside in this righty-on-righty encounter. Nice slider from Bornstein. One and one. Two and one. Hit and run. Runners were in motion and will have to return to their station. Count 2-2 to Murdoch. Two pitch. Strike 3. 2 are left stranded. Bottom of the 9th coming up. The number needed is 5. Saskatoon Berries with a 5-run lead heading into the bottom of the 9th. WCBL baseball on Flow Sports.
for the Swift Current 57s, sponsored by the Fraternal Order of Eagle Swift Current, the catcher number 15, Casey Prychak.
All right, bottom of the ninth, Dallin Rude into pitch for Saskatoon. Rude's third appearance, 2 innings of work, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, spotless ERA. Prychek, fly ball. And Jalen Freeman, the left fielder, makes that catch as berries converge in the outfield.
Now batting, sponsored by Tourism Saskatchewan, the designated hitter number 8, Louis Sayala.
Rude from the baseball-centric community of Munster, Saskatchewan. Something in the water that just cranks out good pitchers in Munster, Saskatchewan. Adam Corte of the Swift Current 57's a Munster guy. Rude out there. Logan Hoffman, who's had a cup of coffee in the majors. Two and one the count here to Luis Ayala, who's 1 for 4. Rude just down and away, 3 and 1 the count. These teams will meet again in, well, really just a few hours. 4 o'clock, first pitch from here at Mitchell Field. Saturday night in Swifty for the Saskatoon Berries. Full count, strike 3. Got Lewis looking.
Now batting, the third baseman, number 22, Justin Ogando.
And now Justin Ogando, 0 for 3 since subbing in for Brody Alexander early in this one. First pitch strike, Rydell Adair on deck. Swinging strike, 0-2. The 1-2. Strike 3. And that locks it down for the Saskatoon Berries. A little bit of back and forth action in this contest. But the Berries do escape with the W. And the Swift Current 57s will fall to 0-9, whilst the Berries win their 7th in a row to stay atop the WCBL East. Player of the game, like what I saw from Silas Hilton. Got on base in all 5 at-bats, 3 for 3 with a pair of walks. Honorable mention to Jose Ayala and that scintillating 2-run home run. Well, that'll do it for our webcast tonight. Swift Current 57's fall to the Saskatoon Berries 10-5. We'll talk to you tomorrow from Mitchell Field on behalf of our IT specialist Joe Collinson and our scoreboard operator Jamie Butter LeBlanc. It's Ryan Schweitzer saying good night from Mitchell Field.
Time of the ball game, 3 hours and 16 minutes, and tonight's attendance is 495. Fans, we thank you for coming to tonight's game. We hope you get home safely, and we'll see you back here tomorrow afternoon.